This is very strange for me because I'm not used to doing this. I usually stand on the other side of the light, and now I'm feeling the pressure I put other people into, and it's hard. um, the previous speaker has been, I think, has really painted a very good background as to what really the impulse behind my work and what drives me and my sense of loss and trying to find the answer to the big questions. But this for me, I mean, coming here to do this feels like I remember there's a sculptor that I like very much, Giacometti, who after many years of living in France and learning, studying and working, he returned home and he was asked, what did you produce? What have you done with so many years of being away? And he showed a handful of figurines. And obviously people were, is this what you spent years doing? And we expected, huge masterpieces, And, but what struck me is the understanding that in those little pieces where the culmination of a man's life, search, thought, and everything, just in a reduced, small version. In a way, I feel like that. I feel like I'm coming home to talk about what I've been out away doing for 20 years now. And I will start with a brief taster of what I've been about. A handful of films, nothing much, 2 feature films and a handful of short films. But we'll go with the first piece.
I destroy lives. Mum said, I love her, She's not even my real mum. My real mum and dad dumped me and fucked off back to Nigeria. The devil is in me, cool. Sleep. Have you ever been?
Where?
Nigeria.
Never. My mum wanted to. Couldn't afford it.
Wish I could. I have this feeling I'd be happy there. Why does everyone get rid of me?
I won't get rid of you.
You don't need me. You're just too blind to see it now.
What'd you do all day?
Read.
And do you get bored? How comes you ain't got a job anyway?
I am retired.
So?
So I've done my bit for Queen and Country. Now I work for myself.
No, now you sit around like a bum all day.
Because I do what I like?
Look, man, reading don't feed no one. And it particularly don't feed your spliff habit.
It feeds my mind and my soul.
Arguing with you is a waste of time, Marcus.
You're a rapper, am I right?
Yeah, man.
Modern day poet.
Yeah, you could say that.
So what do you talk about?
What's that supposed to mean?
Simple. What do you rap about?
Reality, man.
Whose reality?
My fucking reality.
Tell me about your reality.
Racism, oppression, people like me not getting a break in life.
So what solutions do you offer? I mean, the job of a poet is not
Man,
just
fight the power, simple. Blow the motherfuckers out of the sky.
with an AK-47.
Man, if I had one, too fucking right.
And how many soldiers have you recruited to fight this war with you?
Fuck off, Marcus, you know what I mean?
When a man resorts to profanities, it's a sure sign of his inability to express himself.
See, man, you're just taking the piss out of me now.
The Panthers.
Panthers. Ass-kicking guys were fed up with all that white supremacist powers that be bullshit and just went in there and kicked everybody's ass. Fucking wicked, man. I saw the movie. It was bad. What?
I saw his last film. Épuisé, right?
Yes.
It's not to make A bad joke, but it was épuisé. Épuisé. Tired. Exhausted. Fed up.
Can you not shut up?
Now you talk straight to me. What's wrong with my films? Let's go.
It's up.
This up.
It's up.
What about yours?
What about
My films suck.
What? What do you think about your movie?
My movies, they are okay. Fine. They are better than making documentaries no one ever sees.
What the fuck are you talking about? Right. Did you ever move your fucking ass from Hollywood to go and film something real? You make people fucking sleep, dream about bullshit.
Thank you. I just got the first clip really. This clip's really totally trying to capture what cinema is for me and where I'm coming from in terms of cinema. The first piece was really there's a young woman talking about Nigeria, that she has a feeling she'll be happy there. These are the sentiments of someone that's been away from home, and that was something that I went through, and I'm still going through. I've not been home for quite a while, for about 5 years now. I've been away 20 years in total, but. And so it's really how suddenly, this was made in 1997, which is the time of Abacha, the military dictatorship, the worst part of Nigerian history, at least post-colonial history. So for this girl to have these dreams is simply how we preserve a sense of what home is, how in its sort of perhaps romantic, but I think beautiful, because you just need something to hold on to, especially in a society where you feel alienated. Which takes us to the next piece, where the young man talks about lack of opportunity, living as a black person in Europe, the glass ceiling that we all know about, that we all talk about, and coming, his reality. Again, this was me talking about. This was again the time of multiculturalism in the United Kingdom, and there was this buzzword, and it was really, for me, trying to say, what exactly does this multiculturalism mean in the real lives of people? And what does a child like Jamie, the young boy, think? I mean, with all this anger that's built up inside of him, and what happens with that? What of course happens with that is violence, and which we see when we talk about the ghettos, and we talk about South Central LA or all this kind of stuff, or even the right, which eventually sometimes we've channeled becomes evolves and manifests itself as riots, like the one in France 2 years ago where I live, which shocked everybody because everyone thought, oh well, France is a liberal society. But I lived in England for 18 years. I've lived in France for about 4, and I feel actually thrown back 20 years living in France. And then the third piece for me is the question: what is cinema to you? What do you do with cinema? That's the young, the director, Hollywood director, with his friends, fellow filmmakers, talking about what cinema means. And I suppose that will take me to my last piece: what cinema means for me. My life started I started life in 1966, a few months before the Biafran War, which lasted for 3 years, and it was 3 years of war. So that whole thing, that whole childhood, takes me into the next piece.
Onitsha, off to school with your brother.
Yes, Mama. must get ready and willing to die. You must get ready and willing to die. Success, the change is only coming through the barrel of the gun. The barrel of the gun.
This is 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 an AK-47 rifle. This is your life. This is the gun. This is an AK-47 rifle. This is your life.
They give us the special drugs. We call it bubbles.
Amphetamine.
Going from one village to another. 3 villages. I don't remember how we got there. We walked and walked for 2 days. We didn't eat. There was no food, just little rice. Without food, I was sick. The injection made us not to have mind. God will forgive us. He knows we did not know. We did not know.
January 6th, 1999?
I don't remember.
The killing order. The many sons of a bastard.
Uchi,
Me.
why are you giving it to me?
So you can stop staring at me. My story is a little bit complicated.
I'm interested.
My guy is pregnant.
You know what you are? A crocodile. Big mouth, short legs.
What's on your mind?
In front of Rufus, you are Ezra the coward. He's not taking care of his troops.
Troop, pay your last honor. Salute.
Open your eyes, Ezra. A blind man can see that the diamonds end up in his pocket.
I take it you are preparing a major attack.
Why, this must be the mine.
The news here.
Well done. Well done.
That's what you were here for, no?
You're not planning to go back to fight, are you?
We hope that with your help and the help of others with this commission, we'll go a long way towards understanding the causes of the rebel war. More than that, to begin a healing process and finally as an act of closure to a terrible period in this country's history, the beginning of hope.
Mr. Ezra Gellehun, please stand. State your name and the age for the commission.
My name is Ezra Gellehun. I am 15 or 16. I don't remember. Ask my sister. She is the witch. She knows everything.
16.
Mr. Gellehun, I'd like to remind you, you're not on trial here for any crimes you committed.
But we are fighting for our freedom. If killing in a war is a crime, then you have to charge every soldier in the war. War is a crime, yes, but I did not start it. You two are a retired general, not so.
Yes, correct.
so you too must stand trial them. Our government was corrupt. Lack of education was their way to control power. If I may ask, do you pay for school in your country?
No, we don't.
You are richer than us. But we pay for school. Your country talk about democracy, but you support corrupt government like my own. Why? Because you want our diamond. Ask if anyone in this room have ever seen real diamond before. No.
Mr. Gallagher, I have to remind you, you are not on trial here today. You are not on trial.
Then let me go.
I can't do that, son.
So you are a liar.
Thank you. Just very quickly to say that my point really here is that while we're making all these huge advancements, while we're doing all, which for me, I think we should. Africa should move forward, but we should remember, so we don't go back here again. Thank you.
Thank you, Newton. One of the themes that come through very strongly in the piece we just watched is this sense of the psychological trauma of the young that have to play this role of being child soldiers. And considering where you are coming from, and when we consider the extent to which it's not taken as seriously as it should be, what would you have to say about that?
In the process of my research, I actually spent a bit of time in Sierra Leone researching this, and I remember I met a lot of child soldiers, ex-combatants, as they like to be called. I met psychosocial workers who worked with them. I met psychiatrists who spent time with them, aid workers, and NGOs, a whole lot. But I remember on the flight back, on my last trip, I remember breaking down in tears and thinking to myself, if these kids, if any kid in the West, in the Western world, went through a day of what any of these kids have gone through, they'll be on therapy for the rest of their natural lives. So for me, it's the thought of, we have all these children. It's a generation. We have a whole generation of children who have been put through so much psychological trauma or damage, and Africa has to live with that. But I'm just saying to factor that in with all this great advancement and all this pronouncement of great achievement. That's really my thing.
Well, we thank you again for coming to the TED stage. That was a very moving piece.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emeka. Thank you.